Namaskar, hello and welcome viewers. You're watching this special presentation of Sunset TV, your MP with your host Shruti Mishra. And joining us today on the program, a very prominent MP of the upper house, Mr. TRICHY SIVA, floor leader of the DMK, chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Industry and fifth term parliamentarian. Sir, welcome to Sunset TV and thank you so much for joining us. Sir, fifth term in Parliament of India. So many years of experience, parliamentary experience, political experience. How do you define this political and parliamentary journey of yours?
No, it's a great and rare opportunity I'm having to be a member of the parliament. The largest democracy in the world, India, that's our country, which has, of course, the largest population also. And we are legislating laws. And every moment I have been here, I have felt proud of myself that I am doing a great job to the nation. Of course, everyone in one manner or another, they will be doing something for the welfare of the people or the nation. But being a legislator is far more important because knowing the issues of the people and finding the ways to come out of it and solutions. And those are all, of course, legislated in the parliament and in the legislative assemblies, which become law later, and that guides the nation. And I have never imagined, rather I never planned that I should become a member of parliament. My initial days, from school days onwards, was to become a civil service officer. But later, during emergency, when I was a postgraduate student, I was detained under MISA for 1 year, which brought me to full-time politics. And the DMK leader, then leader Dr. Kalaignar, he adopted me. Rather, he recognized me and gave me importance in the party. And slowly working in the students' wing, then in the youth wing, the present incumbent Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin, and I floated the youth wing. We were the owners of that. And later I became the propaganda secretary. And in 1996, I got the opportunity to contest from Pudukkottai constituency, which it is not now after the delimitation. I contested for the Lok Sabha. And of course, I was then described as an alien because I belonged to Trichy. And Pudukkottai was a neighboring district. And that was a Congress belt. It was considered to be a very strong base for Congress party, and I contested against Congress at that time. But I won, of course, with a very appreciable margin. And you know very well, 11th Lok Sabha, it existed, it just was for only 1.5 years. Yes. First, Mr. Vajpayee became the Prime Minister for a few days, 13 days. Then Devagowda became the Prime Minister, then I.K. Gujral. So that brief 1.5 years witnessed 3 Prime Ministers and so many stormy sessions in the Parliament. And you know very well what all happened. Something unstable situation was prevailing in the politics. So my first experience was full of not only learning but thrill also. Any member of Parliament, whoever has been elected, should first learn. Our founder leader Anna has told that as soon as you enter into the parliament, don't be in a haste to get up and speak. Just observe, learn the procedures, how the parliament is functioning, how the other members are participating and contributing in the debates. So I did that. And it so happened that immediately after I entered, it was after a week or so that when the deputy speaker was elected, I was asked to felicitate him on behalf of my party. That was a great opportunity. So without knowing what the parliament is, I got the opportunity to felicitate the deputy speaker, and there the career started. மாநிலங்களவையின் உறுப்பினராக தேர்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கும் திருச்சி சிவா என்னும் நான், within that 1.5 years, I had an opportunity to intervene in 11 discussions, debates, 0 hour, 377, like that, because it was a very short term for that Lok Sabha. very much important I should mention is, during that tenure, I had the experience of being a member with great stalwart leaders. Vajpayee ji was there, LKG Advani ji was there, PV Narasimha Rao, Biju Bhatnaik, Indrajit Gupta, Somnath Chatterjee, Geeta Mukherjee, Banatwala, Chittabasu, Chandrasekhar, former Prime Minister. So all the stalwarts were there. And I had a great experience of being with them. And I can recall that whenever we come across them in the lobby, for example, either it is PV Narasimha Rao ji or Vajpayee ji, if we just in a curiosity, if we want to talk to them, they will stand and reply to us. And if we have any doubts or queries, because like a novice, if you ask some elementary questions, they will be explaining to us. That was a great gesture. I once told the former Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, thank you sir for respecting a junior member. He said, what junior, senior? All are here members of parliament.
Yes, that's true.
Like that, Vajpayee also once appreciated about my speech in the parliament. He said, yes, there is no doubt you are the product of Kalaignar.
Right.
When the confidence motion of, no confidence motion of Devagowda was moved, that was the first time live telecast. Yeah. And I had then the opportunity to speak on behalf of DMK. Myself from DMK and Mr. P. Chidambaram from TMC, Tamilnadu Congress at that time. And it was around 8 o'clock at night. No private TV channels like this, only Doordarshan was there. So all the Panchayat boards and everyone, every place was crowded with people watching the public television. So I was aired on that day, and I came to limelight in one day across the constituency, not only that, across the country also.
Absolutely iconic moment for you as a member of parliament. But the other thing that I remember as a parliamentary reporter was the fact that after decades, a private member bill was taken up by the House and later converted into a government bill. What was the motivation to bring that bill?
See, many issues, in my experience, I come to know, if you raise it during a debate or if you raise it on a substantive motion, I think most of them are only recorded, registered, heard, but of course, what the result is, of course, nothing. So I thought we should find some other way. Even if we go and meet the minister personally, give a letter or explain to him any issue, that also is heard. Maybe they may treat us warmly, but we will not get the desired result. So then it struck me that the private member bill is a very good source. It's a good way also. I have moved many private member bills, and I think you know very well. That is also a history. In the past 1 decade, 5 of my 3 bills and 2 resolutions have been debated, and 1 is passed, as you said. And private member bills, I should say that are not being enough importance as they should be given. They think that only the government bills will have effect. The private member bills, members also work very well. They meticulously draft the bill, and they try to address very core issues. If you go through the bills which many members are introducing, many will be of so much of importance. I wish that the government, whether it is debated or not, if it is debated, they give an assurance and insist the member to withdraw. But after that, no follow-up. I can also give you statistics, how many assurances have been given on the floor of the House by the government, which have not been implemented, or which the words have not been kept. That would go to hundreds of them, 200, 300 like that. So private member bill, a private member day rather, whether it's a resolution or a bill, any government of the day should give importance, even the members.
That's true.
So like that, this issue as far as I am concerned, see 5 of mine, one is this transgender bill that has been passed. Another one which I have brought again, that all the 22 languages of which are in the 8th schedule of the Constitution should be made as official languages. Teachers must not be posted for election duty. For that, that was welcomed very well by many in the many sections in the country. Like that, 5 have been debated. Let me be precise. As far as this transgender bill is concerned, they are a section of the society. How women were discriminated once in this society, and later, after too many number of leaders like Periyar in the south and many other leaders in the north were fighting for their rights. Now women are able to have some equal rights, though they have not attained the place they should, but they are not as before. That we should accept. Like you, so many are very promising. You prove better to be than men in many areas, of course. Where women is not now. They are in, starting from the army down to any office. Their work, their performance and output is very, very remarkable. So another section is this transgender, who have not been identified, who have not been recognized, rather who have been insulted. I think discriminated is a lesser word. They were insulted actually. They were not at all considered as human beings. First reason is that many do not understand who a transgender person. First, they are driven away from the home by their families. Now some families have started to accept. That is very, very rare. Otherwise, you will not see so many on roads. So they have a psychological impression within themselves that they belong to some other gender. Earlier it was very less, but nowadays it is more, because many things now. See, for example, this LGBT voice has come now. Q, LGBTQ. So why it has not been earlier, why it is now more means now only it is coming to limelight. Earlier it would have been because of the societal setup, many were hesitant to express themselves. After my bill was passed, when I went to Kerala, I met some transgenders who came to see me. They were telling, they told me that earlier when we come out of the house, we will come out only in a boy's dress. Where we are going to participate in a meeting, there we will go and change to a woman's dress. But now we start from the home itself. Of course, we are respected everywhere. Earlier, we didn't have access into a restaurant. We were not entertained in a bus, and everyone was ridiculing us. They used abusing words, but nowadays it is not so. And that was, of course, it was a path-breaking, ice-breaking attempt that my private member.
Transgender community, they have called this bill, it's not my word, they say it is regressive, it is half-hearted. Instead of addressing our problems, it is taking us back to the old days. So they say we need a comprehensive bill. Why I speak here, why we ask it to send it to select committee, what the other members have given in the form of amendments, a bill should be complete, it should be wholesome, it should be comprehensive. Like that, sir, the reservation, the statutory commission in place, and the definition for transgender, definition for discrimination, and other things, as I mentioned here, sir, many other things. If they are addressed, this bill will be a comprehensive bill, and I would be the first person to support that.
So the fact that now you're also heading the Parliamentary Standing Committee. So as the chairman of the committee, what are your priorities?
See, I am now chairing the Committee on Industry. Earlier also, during the years 2010 and 13, I was the chairman of the same committee. But now the difference is, that committee, under that committee comes the heavy industries, public sector enterprises and the MSME.
Yes,
but now the public sector enterprises have been taken away to the Minister of Finance. So of course we are now left with a very small area to function with. Only 8 heavy industries are now functioning. Already 28 have been diluted and 12 are very sick. Only 8 are there. MSME is the only sector in which KVIC also comes, that we can concentrate more. But even I find way that we can study something about the performance of the PSCs. Earlier when I was the chairman, I am of course very happy and proud to recall that many sick units were revived because of the intervention of my committee and its report. In one day, my committee presented 7 reports. That was also a record. When Hamid Ansari ji was the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, my committee, I presented 7 reports in one day. Studiously, everyone worked, the members as well as the secretariat officers.
Right.
And I revived so many. For example, in Tamilnadu, one burn standard, which was about to be sold out, is now working with a profit. Earlier it was running with a big loss, and employees were aware of the apprehension they would be locked out, and the company will also be closed. But now it is now working. The employees' salary scale is now 2007 scale. Earlier it was only 92, and so also it is now working with a profit of 80 crore. And one paper mill in Assam and MRL, which is now in Tamil Nadu, was also, of course, we did something, and fact in Kerala, and so many like this. And my committee's exploration brought out some facts. Why public sector undertakings are undergoing a loss? See, for example, a private operator of a bus company lives in a very big bungalow, whereas a corporation which is having thousands of buses is running under loss. One reason is the government service, of course, is working for the people, not for profit. Not for profit. Likewise, public sector enterprises, if they are sound and healthy, the wealth or the revenue which that organizations earn come to the government and afterwards go to the people, but not with the private sector. And the infrastructure, the public sector undertakings are huge, and the manpower is also so. Then why loss? Then why it is not being working in a condition as this should? Our inference was very simple. Number 1, mismanagement. Number 2, non-upgradation of technology. And 3, low morale of employees. So a private sector, a person is working, in one day they will be fired out. They will be called, you are not here in service, hold and go out. But not in government. So they should realize that the job security is there and they should work more for that.
Absolutely.
And so also the technological upgradation is so very low that no one is concentrated. I'll tell you another thing. A person living in a housing board quarters, they don't even do the smallest repair that has to be done in their house. They wait for the housing board of people to come and do that. And when they vacate the house, they leave it in a dilapidated condition. If it is your own house, you will be, of course, taking care. So everyone thinks that if it is government's, we need not bother. That mindset should be changed. So public sector undertakings, they are the temples of our economy. That's what Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru described it when these public sector undertakings were created. And I should say another thing, that India withstood economic recession 2007-8 and many other times.
That's right.
Only because of the healthy functioning of the public sector undertakings under the agriculture sector. India is basically an agricultural country, and these two sectors have to be taken care of, which the governments failed to, I should say. So my committee is now I am concentrating more on electrical vehicles.
Okay.
Because concern about the environment and the future, of course we have to switch over to from fossil fuels because of the environment, and we have to import oil from which incurs 46% of the pollution is because of transport vehicles, and most of our revenue goes to the foreign countries for import of oil. So if we switch over to electric vehicles, the energy can be by way of renewable energy. We could, I think we can manage our energy requirement. The generation could be through renewable energy. We are doing it by solar, wind power and nuclear power. Nuclear power also, personally, we are against it, because the reactors and the nuclear waste, what will happen in future, it is looming on over our head. In Tamil Nadu, the wind power that is generated is equal to the nuclear power generated in the whole of India.
That's true.
So we have to concentrate on solar power and wind power and other things than on coal power, everything. So now that we are concentrating, my committee has already discussed with the stakeholders as well as the government officials, and we are going to sit again, because the speed it should take is not, the pace is not. By 2030, the government's target is that 80% of the three-wheelers, two-wheelers should be electric vehicles and 40% commercial vehicles like that. But now the pace is not so. So we are first of all focusing on that. And heavy industries, the budget amount that is allocated for the heavy industries are not being spent for the past 3 years. That's a very sad thing. When everyone is raising hue and cry that we are running short of funds, for many social welfare schemes, money or fund is not allocated to the needed level. Heavy industries are not spending the amount that has been allocated to them. My committee is going to introspect into that. So our basic concern is to protect the public sectors. India should be self-sufficient, indigenous. Make in India should not be only a slogan. Entrepreneurs should be encouraged. Manufacturers should be supported. What is the hurdle on their way? How to help them out? The government should focus. So the committees, of course, are always bridges between the stakeholders and the government.
Absolutely.
If they are not able to get in touch with the government, our committee, of course, we discuss with both of them, we give reports, and we also emphasize very much, not even on the floor of the House, in our report also, that these things should be done. So I think my committee has, though it appears to be a very smaller one, has a greater responsibility which would help the country's economy, the employment. MSME is the second largest employment provider next to agriculture sector. That is also weaker nowadays, because the schemes that are there, the funds allocated and the care it should be given are of course lacking. So my committee will focus on all those.
Fantastic, sir. And before we end this conversation, you're also the floor leader of the DNK, the upper house. As the floor leader, what are your priorities? Because I've seen you also promote many young members who've just come in, the new members, you promote them. What are your priorities?
See, I represent a political party which is a regional party. Basically, our first and foremost policy is social justice. So whenever such things have to be addressed, we give priority. Importance to state power. State autonomy is one of our slogans, rather our motto.
Fantastic talking to you. Fantastic learning about your parliamentary experience, your political experience. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much, and it's a great opportunity to participate in this Sunset TV. I've been watching many an interview which you had with many other members, and the viewers also, I know, very elite people are watching the Sunset TV. And yes, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And the days to come, of course, will give us more opportunities to discuss about the upcoming issues. Thank you very much.
Fantastic having you, sir. Well, viewers, that's all we had for you in this edition. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Sunset TV. Goodbye for now from my side.